समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या? समझ में नहीं आया।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
Tin chests, charpais, bundles of blankets, almirahs. Their lives piled up on aging Toyota pickup trucks. The villagers of Lucky Marwat's Sarkatti Mishan Khel last week began a long journey to outrun the searing heat of war. The week before, after a battle that claimed the lives of 8 Pakistani Special Forces personnel, the villagers were ordered to cut down the trees and brushes around their village, and thus ensure jihadists could no longer enter the area and take shelter in the mosque. The villagers decided their best chance of survival was just to leave. Late on Tuesday night, Indian missiles rained down on 9 jihadist-linked infrastructure targets across Pakistan in revenge for the massacre of 25 tourists and 1 local resident in Kashmir's Pahalgam. International media, citing Pakistan military sources, said 5 Indian jets were shot down during the course of the operation, allowing Pakistan Army Chief General Munir to claim victory. India has denied Pakistan's claims. General Munir, though, is fighting a far more significant battle on a second front. In Khyber-Pakhtunkhwa, where soldiers of the Peshawar headquartered 11th Corps are engaged in a grim war within. Few figures are available publicly, but at one stage the campaign was reported to have drawn in tens of thousands of soldiers. Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan jihadists streaming south from Afghanistan have carved out tiny emirates across Khyber-Pakhtunkhwa, coexisting uneasily with both the state and its enemies. Azam-e-Ishtikam, the military operation launched in 2024, was named a resolve for stability. So far, it has mainly succeeded in grinding down ordinary people, not the terrorists it's targeting. For Indian strategists planning their next steps, the state of Azam-e-Ishtikam holds out an important lesson. Forcing Pakistan to commit more troops to holding the line of control would bleed it of resources far more effectively than flamboyant periodic airstrikes. Long before the villagers of Sarkatti Michan Khel left their homes, their lives had already transformed beyond recognition. As reported by Abu Bakr Siddiqui and Abdul Hai Kakar, both of whom know the region very well, music had been banned, barbers forbidden from trimming men's beards, and women stopped from leaving home without male escorts. Girls' schools were shut down due to threats, or in some cases, simply blown up. The army is without doubt the most powerful force in the region. And yet, it's the Tehreek-e-Taliban that rules. Figures, as I said, are hard to come by, but past interventions have sucked in up to 2 brigades drawn from the Indian line of control, in addition to 2 elite special services battalions, on top of the 3 divisions and paramilitary forces that are normally available to 11th Corps. The Pakistan Army is now using religious imagery to try and discredit its adversaries, calling them Khawarij or extremists who reject the Islamic theological consensus. Last month, the newspaper Dawn reported that, I quote, hundreds of military personnel have been martyred in attacks in 2024. The number of police martyrs would add to this total. In Kashmir, that number is just in the low double digits. Just last week, Islamabad-based Islamist cleric Abdul Aziz Ghazi, who led an insurrection against General Pervez Musharraf's regime in 2007, declared the Pakistani state itself to be kufr, or founded on the rejection of Islam. To his followers, he proclaimed that siding with the Pakistan army against India was impermissible under Islamic law. Yes, your guess is right. he's not in prison. Even as the military declares growing success in its counter-terrorism operations, 56 terrorists were reported killed in ambushes along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border at the end of last month. Khyber-Pakhtunkhwa does not appear any safer. Just last month, 18 men working for the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission were kidnapped from Lucky Marwat's Zarifwal mines. Some are still missing. Earlier, a police officer guarding a polio vaccination team was shot dead in broad daylight. A government official suspected of spying on the TTP was tortured and killed. For the best part of 25 years, as scholar Zahid Khan reminds us, the Pakistan Army has responded with a deranged effort to crack walnuts with sledgehammers. In 2003, as Pakistani jihadists began consolidating in Khyber-Pakhtunkhwa, out of reach of Western troops in Afghanistan, Lieutenant General Mohammad Safdar Hussain, then commander of the 11th Corps, launched Operation Al-Mizan, deploying 70 to 80,000 soldiers across 35,000 square kilometers in the Wana region. The idea was to displace commanders such as Naik Muhammad Wazir, Nurul Islam, Haji Muhammad Sharif, Maulvi Abbas and Maulvi Abdul Aziz, all of whom hosted large numbers of foreign fighters. One result of that offensive was that the army ended up making a peace deal with Naik Muhammad Wazir. In a video recorded in the spring of 2004, the jihad commander garlanded Lieutenant General Safdar and declared, "The most important thing is that we are Pakistani soldiers too. The tribal people are Pakistan's atomic bomb. When India attacks Pakistan, you will see the tribals defending all 14,000 kilometers of the border." Well, the United States killed Naik Muhammad in a drone strike in 2004, but the problem didn't end. As Khan writes, a succession of ill-fated counter-insurgency operations followed, often backed by US intelligence and air power. Ra-e-Nijat and Ra-e-Rast in 2009, Operation Sherdil in 2008, and Zalzala and Rah-e-Haq in 2007. In each case, artillery and air power were heavily used, ostensibly to target jihadist strongholds, but often at the cost of massive civilian casualties. As the scholar and journalist Daud Khattak has noted, every one of these offences ended in a peace deal. The army ceded territory held by jihadist warlord Baitullah Masood through the 2005 Sargodha Agreement, even compensating him for land that was destroyed as well as homes. The violence, however, continued as Masood used his new legitimacy to expand his influence. After the 2007 showdown at Lal Masjid, jihadist Fazlullah expanded his Sharia-based regime in Swat, preventing girls from attending school and banning women from appearing in public without the all-covering burqa. The government eventually gave in, passing the Nizam-e-Adal regulation in Swat on 15 February 2009, effectively conceding to a Sharia mini-state. For the most part, the Pakistan Army's objective has been to ensure that its jihadist clients can exercise power, so long as they don't threaten its hegemony. And that's why the situation in Khyber-Pakhtunkhwa is what it is. The real threat from the military's perspective comes from secular political formations demanding democratic rights, like the Pashtun Tahaffuz movement. In 2022, popular politician Sardar Muhammad Arif Wazir was assassinated in a drive-by shooting by a TTP hid squad. Legislator Mohsin Dawar, a central figure in non-violent democratic mobilization, has been repeatedly targeted for assassination. General Munir's soldiers, like those before them, are showing they are good students of their imperial British forebearers. The Raj sought to subdue Khyber-Pakhtunkhwa with a mix of bribes and subsidies for loyal proxies and brutal violence against dissenters. Think about this passage. The brigade had demonstrated its power to take and burn any village that might be selected, and had inflicted severe loss on all who attempted to impede its action, wrote Britain's future Prime Minister Winston Churchill in 1888, describing the Malakand Field Forces campaign to suppress ethnic Pashtun insurgency. The assailants retire to the hills, he argued. Later, it is impossible to follow them. They cannot be caught, they cannot be punished. Thus, only one remedy remains: their property must be destroyed. Faced with genuine political resistance today, not just in Khyber-Pakhtunkhwa but also in Balochistan, the Pakistan military strategy is nearing irretrievable collapse. India ought to be able to discern opportunity in this situation. The new political movements in Balochistan, to be sure, do not seek secession, but they do demand a nation ruled not by generals but by its constitution. Their grievances have made them enemies of the Pakistan army. A genuinely democratic Pakistan would be one where the generals' jihadist proxies no longer enjoy state patronage and impunity. India must avoid hostile ultra-nationalist polemic and existential threats to the Pakistani nation, moves that will only force Pakistan's Democrats to rally around the flag and the military. I'm Praveen Swami and I'm a contributing editor to ThePrint. Thank you for watching this episode of Security Code.